What is it that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary? What invisible force drives a poor man to build an empire, fuels a dreamer to rewrite the future, and empowers a nobody to become a legend? It is not luck. It is not just talent. It is something deeper, more electric, and infinitely more powerful. That force is ambition. Ambition is the fire in the belly, the vision behind the eyes, and the refusal to quit when others fold. It's not born from comfort. It's forged in desire and hunger, in the sacred belief that you were meant for more. And if you've ever felt like your dreams are too big, let me tell you, you're not dreaming too big. You're just surrounded by people who dream too small. Life responds not to what we need, but to what we pursue. It doesn't give handouts to the passive, nor does it bow to the indecisive. It rewards those who have made up their minds. Those who have taken the time to sit still, reflect deeply, and say with certainty, this is what I want my life to look like. The greatest gift you can give to your future is the clarity of your direction. Not just a list of hopes, but a definite path, a chosen target. That's the beginning of ambition. You see, most people drift. They wake up in the morning and let the day decide their mood. They let the outside world dictate their direction. They respond to problems, react to pressures, and allow circumstances to set their agenda. But those who understand the power of ambition operate differently. They set the course. They declare a destination. They harness the power of a clearly defined purpose and turn it into a magnetic force pulling them forward. When you have that kind of direction, life begins to respond in ways you never imagined. Opportunities reveal themselves, ideas multiply, energy flows where purpose lives. Ambition begins the moment you decide what you truly want, not what you think you should want, not what someone told you is possible, but what you want with all your heart. And then you back it up with resolve, not just wishful thinking. Wishes are weak, resolve is strong. Resolve says, I will. It doesn't ask for guarantees. It doesn't beg for permission. It declares intention and moves forward. You must become intentional about your life and drift long enough, and you'll end up somewhere you never wanted to be. Decide and you'll steer your life toward a destination of your own making. A definite purpose is more than a goal. It's a reason. It's the why that gets you out of bed early and keeps you up late. It's the burning desire that whispers in your ear when the rest of the world sleeps. It makes the work worth it. It turns failure into feedback. It transforms obstacles into growth. When you know why you're doing what you're doing, you'll find the how. The answers show up for the man or woman who refuses to quit because their purpose is too important. That's where ambition comes alive. Not in the vague space of maybe, but in the certainty of must. You must know what you want. You must pursue it with boldness. Vague dreams produce vague results, but a definite purpose produces power. It gives you something to aim at. And the moment you aim, you begin to gather momentum. Your mind becomes more focused. Your time becomes more valuable. Your decisions become sharper. You stop wondering. You stop wasting. You stop wondering what might happen, and you start creating what will happen. Purpose gives birth to discipline. When you know where you're going, discipline becomes easier. You stop negotiating with your comfort. You stop arguing with your habits. You simply do what needs to be done because your mission is bigger than your mood. And that kind of discipline is rare. It's the secret advantage of the ambitious. They don't operate based on feelings. They operate based on commitment. They've made a decision, and they live by that decision every day. It's not about being perfect. It's about being precise. Not flawless, but focused. When you fall, you get back up because your purpose calls louder than your pain. That's ambition in action. It doesn't need motivation every day. It has direction, and direction is stronger than emotion. When you have direction, even your bad days serve a purpose. Even your failures move you forward. Even your heartbreak teaches you something useful. Direction turns everything into progress, and that's the beauty of ambition rooted in purpose. It redeems everything. But none of this begins until you sit down with yourself and ask the hard questions. What do I really want? What matters most? What would make this life a masterpiece instead of a mess? That's where it starts. With honest answers, with written goals, with the courage to admit you're not where you want to be, but the conviction to never stay there. That's the true nature of ambition. It doesn't accept life as it is. It accepts life as it can be. Now, once purpose has been set, there is another ingredient that breathes fire into ambition: desire. Deep, burning, passionate desire. Desire that stirs your soul. Desire that wakes you in the middle of the night with ideas you can't ignore. It's not casual. It's not convenient. It's consuming. That kind of desire will pull you across deserts, through storms, over obstacles, because you want it that badly. You must want your future more than your excuses. You must want it more than comfort, more than approval, more than distraction. That's the price ambition demands. But it pays back in abundance. The level of desire you carry sets the altitude of your results. Weak desire delivers weak returns. Strong desire reshapes your world. It gives you the courage to begin when you're scared, to continue when it hurts, and to finish when you're exhausted. Desire is what gives life to vision. It's what takes a thought and breathes life into it. It's what gives your dreams a heartbeat. A strong enough desire will find a way. A shallow desire looks for convenience. A deep desire creates possibility. The ambitious are fueled by that deep desire. They don't sit back and wait for life to change. They get up and change it. They're not hoping the wind blows in their favor. They're building a sail and catching every gust that comes their way. If you want to change your life, change what you want most. Replace the desire for ease with the desire for excellence. Replace the desire for approval with the desire for growth. Replace the desire for safety with the desire for achievement. The direction of your desire determines the quality of your journey. If you hunger for greatness, you'll develop the habits to match. If you hunger for mastery, you'll do what average refuses to do. And when you do, you'll find yourself rising, not because you were lucky, but because you were hungry. Desire wakes up the will. It gives you reasons to say no to distractions. It gives you the strength to say yes to discipline. When the goal is big enough, the excuses get small. When the desire is real, the action becomes natural. No one has to force you to work when the dream is alive in you. You don't need someone to push you. You've got purpose pulling you. But don't just desire vaguely. Get specific. What do you want to accomplish in the next year? What level of income do you want? What skill do you want to master? What legacy do you want to leave? That kind of specific desire drives ambition forward. The more clearly you see it, the more easily you chase it. The more real it becomes in your imagination, the more possible it becomes in reality. That's the secret of all high achievers. They wanted it more. They wanted it deeper. They wrote it down, visualized it, affirmed it, and then they chased it like their life depended on it. Because in many ways it did. Your future does depend on what you want most right now. What you desire today becomes your experience tomorrow. So don't treat it casually. Fan the flames of your desire. Feed your hunger with books, ideas, mentors, conversations, environments. Protect that desire. Grow it. Because once it burns bright enough, it will drive you through every storm. This is what separates the dreamers from the doors. Not just vision, but fire. Not just goals, but obsession. Not just good intentions, but daily execution. All of it comes back to this. How badly do you want it? And once you answer that, the rest begins to unfold. Not because easy, not because it's instant, but because it's yours. And once ambition has taken hold of you, you'll never again settle for less than your best. Not now. Not ever. Every dream begins in the unseen. Every towering achievement was once just an idea floating in someone's imagination. But what turns an idea into a reality? What takes a whisper of possibility and brings it into the light of day? It's belief. Not shallow hope, but deep-rooted faith in the unseen. Ambition cannot live without belief. It needs the soil of faith to grow. The most dangerous limitation is not the one set by the world. It's the one set by your own mind. When you stop believing in yourself, the dream dies, the hunger fades, and ambition withers. But when you truly believe, when your heart says yes, even when your eyes see nothing, the impossible begins to shift. Belief is the inner agreement that says, I can do this. It is the first transaction between your spirit and your future. Without belief, ambition is a vehicle without fuel. You can sit in the driver's seat. You can have the map, the destination, the dream, the desire. But if you don't believe you can get there, you won't even start the engine. And even if you do, you'll second guess every mile. That's what holds people back. Not the size of the mountain, but the lack of faith that they can climb it. Every step of success begins with a mindset that says, this is possible for me. You have to believe in your future long before it shows up. You must believe in the power of change even when your past tells you otherwise. You must believe that what you're working toward is real even when no one claps for you. Even when you have no proof, even when all you see are obstacles. Belief is not about what's visible, it's about what's valuable. You don't need to see the full staircase to take the first step. You just need to trust that every step matters. That's how ambition keeps going. It doesn't wait for signs. It creates them. Every person you admire today was once in a place of doubt, fear, or obscurity. They didn't start with certainty. They started with belief. That belief grew from repetition, from showing up, from deciding every day, I am not giving up. And little by little, their faith turned into form. What once lived only in the mind became visible to the world. That's the power of belief. It doesn't guarantee ease, but it guarantees motion. When you believe, you act. When you believe, you speak differently. You carry yourself differently. You walk into rooms like you belong there. Not because others say so, but because you've already said so to yourself. The most important conversations you'll ever have are the ones you have with yourself. Do you speak life into your vision or doubt into your destiny? Do you declare your goals with confidence or smother them in hesitation? Your words shape your world. Speak belief. Feed your spirit daily with affirmations, with gratitude, with the evidence of your past victories. Remind yourself that you've survived things that once scared you, that you've overcome moments when you thought you'd break. You didn't build belief. Use that as fuel. You can borrow belief in the beginning. Let someone else's confidence in you carry you for a while if it must. But eventually, you must own it. You must stand tall, look in the mirror and say, I can, I will, I must. You can't outsource faith. No one else can hold a dream like you can. You must carry it even when your hands shake. You must nurture it even when your voice trembles. You must protect it like a flame in the wind until it becomes a fire the world can't ignore. And as you hold on to belief, you must walk with another powerful partner. Persistence. Belief is the seed, but persistence is the water. You cannot wish your way into a great life. You must work your way there. And you must keep working when it gets hard, when it gets boring, when the applause stops and the grind begins. That's where most quit, not because they lack talent, but because they lack endurance. Ambition is not just about how brightly you begin, but how long you keep going. It's about the days you don't feel like it, but show up anyway. But the days you're tired, but take the next step anyway. The days you doubt, but move forward anyway. Success is never a straight road. It's a winding path filled with detours, breakdowns, and delays. But the persistent never lose sight of the destination. They adjust the sails. They fix the engine. They take a break if needed, but they never park forever. They know that slow progress is still progress. That forward motion is what separates the mediocre from the remarkable. If you can outlast the excuses, outwork the discouragement, outfaith the fear, you'll get there. Not overnight, but absolutely. Persistence is what builds resilience. It's the repeated action in the face of resistance that strengthens the muscle of success. Every time you keep going, you prove to yourself that you're not weak. You're not a quitter. You're not dependent on ideal conditions. You are committed. You are disciplined. You are ambitious not just in your dreams, but in your effort. That kind of internal reputation is worth more than external praise. When you know you can trust yourself to keep going no matter what, you become unstoppable. The question isn't, can I do it? The real question is, will I keep doing it long enough to see results? Most people water their dreams for a week, don't see flowers, and walk away. But the persistent know, roots grow before blooms show. Your work may be underground for a season, invisible to the world, but it's not wasted. Every effort counts. Every repetition matters. Every small win is compounding. Don't be fooled by silence. Don't be discouraged by stay with it. Keep watering. Keep showing up. Your time is coming if you don't give up. There will be days when the progress feels invisible. Days when doubt knocks harder than usual. Days when everything feels uphill and unfair. But that's when ambition must rise, not retreat. That's when you lean into your reason. Why did you start? Who are you doing this for? What will it cost if you quit now? That's what persistence asks. Not just, can you go on? But can you remember why you must? The person who keeps their why in front of them always finds the strength to try one more time. Persistence isn't flashy, but it's not always exciting. But it's powerful because while the world watches for overnight sensations, real winners are being built in silence, day by day, decision by decision. 1,000 small acts of discipline that no one sees. Until they can't ignore the results. Don't chase the spotlight, chase consistency. Stay in the process. Trust the time it takes. Your ambition will reward you if you stay faithful to the work. The hardest battles are usually fought right before the breakthrough. The urge to quit is often strongest when the reward is closest. That's why you must train your mind to persist. Don't trust your feelings in hard seasons. Trust your fundamentals. Trust your routines. Trust the fact that you've been preparing for this moment. You were given the dream just to abandon it. You were given the dream to pursue it relentlessly. If it matters, you stay. If it's worth it, you fight. And if it's in your heart, you don't let delays deceive you. You keep going. You've already come farther than you realize. You've already endured more than most will ever know. You have what it takes, not just to begin, but to finish. You are capable. You are built for this. And every step forward is shaping the person you need to become to hold the life you desire. It's not just about what you get at the end. It's about who you become along the way. That's the reward ambition offers to those who believe in persistent transformation, mastery, and the quiet pride of knowing you didn't settle. You showed up, you stayed strong, and you made it. There's something powerful about a mind that dares to stretch beyond what it has already seen. Imagination is not a luxury for daydreamers. It is a tool, a necessity for those who intend to shape a life of meaning and impact. It's the ability to see beyond current limitations, to paint the picture before the canvas is even touched. Without imagination, ambition is locked in the prison of today. But when you allow your mind to wander into the possibilities of tomorrow, you give ambition a runway to take flight. Everything you now touch, use, wear, ride, or live in was once just a picture in someone's mind. A spark. A mental rehearsal. A vision so clear it became a reality. And that's the miracle of the human mind. It can build a future before it arrives. That's the place where change begins. Imagination opens the door to innovation. It tells the heart there is more to come. It whispers ideas while the world sleeps. It inspires new methods, new paths, new answers. But to use it, you must feed it. You must stretch it. You must stop living only in the data of what is and start thinking in the language of what could be. You must allow yourself to see things that don't yet exist and believe in them so deeply that your actions begin to build them long before others can comprehend them. That's how you change the world. Not by following it, but by imagining something better and chasing that image with everything inside you. There is a difference between memory and vision. Memory is about the past. Vision is about the future. The past has its lessons, but the future holds your possibilities. You must not lie stuck in what has been if you want to reach what can be. Let your imagination create new blueprints. Ask yourself what your life could look like if you removed fear, doubt, or excuses. What could you build if you believed nothing was too far, too big, too late? Those are the questions ambition feeds on. The greater your vision, the greater your action. Imagination stirs energy. It gives new life to old routines. It awakens purpose. It dares to write goals beyond logic and then makes them feel real. But imagination isn't enough by itself. It must be combined with effort. Don't just dream. Do. Don't just picture it. Pursue it. Use imagination to stretch your goals, not to escape responsibility. Ambition doesn't hide behind fantasy. It turns imagination into instruction. What you imagine today can become a plan tomorrow if you are willing to act. What was once fiction can become fact through daily movement. You can't just wish for more. You must work for more. Imagination shows you the promise, but only execution brings the prize. So imagine freely. Think boldly. And then write down the details. Make a plan and start building. You don't have to finish in a day. But you must begin today. The world belongs to the builders. Those who dare to picture the extraordinary and then bring it to life, one step at a time. If your imagination is vivid, your ambition will be vibrant. And if your ambition is vibrant, your action will be consistent. That's the flow. Think big, write clearly, act daily. Your results will start to match the quality of your mental picture. If you can see yourself speaking on stages, changing lives, building wealth, raising leaders, or writing your story, you're already halfway there. The rest is showing up again and again until the dream becomes tangible. That's the magic of imagination fueled by persistence. You get to decide how far you go by deciding how far your mind is allowed to see. Now here comes the final piece. Acts out action. Everything else remains potential. It's not your ideas that change your life. It's the execution of those ideas. It's not your dreams, your goals, or your vision that bring transformation. It's the consistent, repeated decision to do the work even when it's hard, even no one sees it, even when progress seems small. Action is the translator of ambition. It's the proof. It's the demonstration of belief. Without it, the dream dies. With the dream breathes. You don't have to know everything to start. You need a perfect plan. You need movement, progress, one step, then another. Action creates clarity. When you move, you discover what works. You get feedback, you learn, you adjust, you grow. But standing still, waiting for perfect conditions, that kills momentum. That kills creativity. That's where ambition goes to die, in the waiting room of procrastination. You don't need more time. You need more courage. Courage to act while uncertain, to act while afraid, to act without applause. That's what separates the successful from the stuck. They act. Discipline is action in motion. It's the system you build when motivation fades. Discipline says, I'll do it because it needs to be done, not because I feel like it. That's the strength of the ambitious. They don't let moods rule. They let decisions guide them. Action builds habits, shape identity. Identity creates destiny. You can't change your life until you change what you do daily. Big changes come from small, consistent actions. Want a new outcome? Create a new routine. Want to become someone you admire? Start doing what that version of you would do. Every action you take either reinforces your ambition or replaces it with regret. You cannot sit and hope for change. Hope is not a strategy. Hope feels good, but action produces results. Action gets you noticed. Action earns respect. Action delivers opportunity. The world doesn't respond to your wishes. It responds to your efforts. If you want more, do more. Not just once in a while, but daily. Let your ambition show up in your calendar, in your schedule, in your choices. Let it be seen, not just spoken. Anyone can talk about goals. Few commit to the grind required to make them real. You must become a person of action, a person known for their follow-through. If you say it, do it. If you start it, finish it. That's how trust is built, with yourself and with others. When your actions match your words, your confidence increases. You start to believe in yourself again. You stop overthinking because your behavior proves your commitment. And you don't need approval when you've built self-respect through effort. Every action you take makes a deposit in your future. It's either moving you closer or further. There is no neutral. Even in delay, you're deciding. So decide to move. Success is attracted to people who move, who act, who risk, who try. It's not looking for the perfect. It's looking for the present. Be present. Be active. Be intentional. Don't wait for someone to rescue you. Don't wait for someone to hand you permission. Don't wait for conditions to be ideal. Get up and start. If you fail, learn fast. If you fall, rise quickly. The point is progress, not perfection. Every step counts. Every effort multiplies. And as you take action, momentum builds. And with momentum comes confidence. And with confidence comes belief. And with belief comes even greater action. That's the cycle. It starts with one decision. One brave moment where you say, I'm done waiting. That's when the shift begins. The change doesn't happen by accident. It's intentional. You plan it. You pursue it. You prioritize it. Let your life become the evidence of what ambition, imagination, and action can create together. Don't live another year hoping it changes. Make this the year you become the architect, the author, the initiator, the one who moved, the one who acted, the one who turned the invisible into the inevitable. You've got ideas inside you right now that could change everything, but nothing happens until you move. Nothing happens until you take that first uncomfortable step. Maybe it's writing the email, making the call, starting the project, investing in yourself, joining the program, declaring the goal, ending the excuse. It doesn't matter where you begin. It just matters that you begin. Because once you move, you start to break the chains of doubt. You start to escape the trap of overthinking. You step into momentum. And once you've got momentum, you've got magic. So what will it be? Will you keep imagining but never doing? Will you keep waiting but never moving? Or will you finally let your ambition be seen in your action? Because the life you want is waiting, but only if you are willing to do more than want it. You have to work it. And when you do, everything begins